Hello, my name is Elaine Chang, and I'll be taking you through a product demonstration of TaroWorks. Let's start with Salesforce.com. The example I'll use to demonstrate TaroWorks is around the use case of a fake social enterprise called Aquacomb. Aquacomb builds wells and also tracks the outcome of people who go to those wells. Let's also start with explaining the difference between Salesforce and TaroWorks. So Salesforce is an online database that already exists in and of itself. TaroWorks is an app that sits on top of Salesforce and provides additional functionality. TaroWorks is the portal by which you can collect information to aggregate into Salesforce, and it also allows you to access information from the Salesforce database in the field. So Salesforce provides the ability to create contacts, manage your contacts, and build reports and dashboards. So here's an example of something that Aquacomb might be tracking in terms of their programs. This is tracking the site assessments by region and how viable those well sites are. Now, Aquacomb might also be interested in tracking the outcomes of their well members. So this one is looking at their poverty rates using the PPI, or the Progress Out of Poverty Index. So you have overall poverty rates, and you have poverty rates over time split out by region, compared against sick days and visits to the well. So this is all stuff that's in Salesforce already. I didn't have to code anything. We just pulled over the type of chart that we want to see and then the underlying data reports. Now, how to get that data into Salesforce is where TaroWorks comes in. So TaroWorks gives you the ability to create surveys, to manage mobile users, jobs, and create performance targets. So let's start going through with surveys. Let's start with a new survey. There's three options here. You can start with a completely blank survey, you can clone an existing survey to make a change, or you can create one from a PPI template. So this is the ability to access a survey library of existing surveys. So here you'll have access to the PPIs in the available languages as well. Let me actually cancel out of this and show you a survey that's been pre-built. Let's go in and edit this one. So here's the actual question builder process. You create a title for it. You can capture GPS coordinates automatically or not. Save and continue. Here's the actual question builder. So you have different types of sections and also different types of questions. The sections are pretty normal, and we have regular sections and also repeat sections, where a repeat section is, for example, you ask, how many children do you have? The answer is 3. Then you cycle through name and age 3 times. The question types are fairly standard. There are a few that I like to point out. Cascading selects is the ability to drill down to a specific village name, for example, so your enumerators are not typing it in by hand and risking typos. There's also the ability to scan barcodes, to take photos, and signatures. All of these question types are drag and drop, so you could create a new question here, just drag it over and create your caption, what is your gender? You can make it required or not. Required means that they won't be able to continue on without responding. They'll get an error message if they do. Create your own options and save. And you can also drag these around and reorder them as you'd like. So that's the actual question builder. Let's just go across the top for the other features. There's also the idea of scoring. So scoring is the idea that there are pre-built weights or scores related to responses from multiple choice questions. So for the PPI questions, they've already been pre-populated for me. I could add in a new score group for any additional multiple choice questions I've created. Next is lookup tables. Lookup tables are just for reference, and it's how the system will calculate the PPI poverty rates or the likelihoods based on the different poverty lines. So nothing to do here. Logic is skip logic. So I could say only show these questions if something else is answered in a particular way. For example, only show these pregnancy questions if gender is female. Next is field mapping. So this one is very specific to Salesforce, but it's the idea that, okay, you're collecting all this information in this survey. Where do you want the data to save to? In this case, I actually have data saving to 3 different tables. And this is owing to the fact that Salesforce is a relational database. And this is also where a lot of the powerful reporting will come into play. So that's how you build a survey. The next step is to build that survey into a job. The idea of a job is that some organizations will have specific tasks that their field officers or enumerators must do in the field. It might be collecting the survey information, but it could also be providing training or viewing previously collected information. So for a monthly check-in, there could be multiple tasks involved, and a job is a collection of those tasks so that the enumerators can stick to a standard operating procedure. Now let me actually show you how that would look like on the device. So let me now take off my Salesforce admin hat and become one of the field officers. So this is my Android tablet. I'm signed in as E. Chang. The first thing I'll do is sync. Syncing means that I'm pulling down into my device any newly created jobs, and if I have collected any data on my device, it's also syncing it back to Salesforce. So I do have to be in an area of reception when I sync. Now it has been successfully synced. That means all of the information is cached onto my device. I can leave that area of reception, go off into the field, and have access to all of my information. Okay. Let's say I go off into the field to one of my well members. First, let me also show you performance. So here's the idea that these are the jobs that have been assigned to me, along with the targets for either the week or the month. And it looks like I've done 2 of this and none of the others. Now let's do one of the community member updates. So this is the idea that I am checking in on a well member that's already registered in Salesforce. So they already exist in the system. I'm following up with them. So let me go into my jobs. Here are all of the jobs that have been assigned to me. I'm going to do the community member update, and just for time's sake, I'll do it without the PPI questions. Let's start a completely new job. This one happens to have 3 tasks involved. I will first view past updates, I'll conduct a new update, and then I'll also show a hand washing tutorial. Let me start the job. Okay, so let me check in on Amber City East. This is the idea that I have a portfolio that I'm managing as E. Chang. This list could be completely different from someone else's assignments. So let me check in on Amber City East. Let's go to well 10. And let's say that I'm checking on Phyllis Choga today. Here are all of the times that I've visited her previously. Let's go to the last one. And we'll see that she went to the well 15 times in the last month and was not sick at all. So now I'm supposed to check on whether there are any issues with their containers. Okay, next. So now I'm actually going to start the data collection piece. I'm going to start by recording my location. Okay, record. That's where I am. Next. So it already knows who I'm talking to. I don't have to fill in anything. Let's say that she went to the well less times and became more sick in the last month. I can also take a picture. So this is just a picture on my laptop. Let me go back here. Let's save that. The next one is gathering a signature. So now I'm just going to use my finger and draw on my tablet. So Phyllis Save and close. And then at the very end, any issues to check on next time. Let's say check on hand washing technique. Next. That's the end of that survey, and now we have one more task left to do, which is to show the hand washing tutorial. Let me play the video. So the audio is just coming out from the speakers on my tablet. Okay, so let me go to the next task. It should be finished at this point. So now I have two options. I can either save and sync if I have reception right away, or I can save only and keep doing these jobs until the next time I do have reception. Let me just save and sync right away. Okay, great. Now it's successfully synced. Let me just show you in terms of the performance. This has now gone up to 3 out of 5 completed jobs for this week. So it seems like I still have a lot of work to do for the remainder of the week. So that's one way that shows up for the enumerator. Now let me go back into Salesforce. I also have this created, Well Site Members. I can actually check in on the Well members that I've already registered. So let's go into Phyllis. And I should see the information that I've just collected. So the new photo, the new location, and new signature. And one last thing is to go into the surveys. I can actually go into the response count here. When I click it, I'll see all of my raw data that I've collected. At this point, I can also export any selected answers into a CSV file. And of course, going full circle, these dashboards should automatically update with the newest information as well. So that is a very quick overview of how TaroWorks works. Thanks for joining.